Hello and welcome to the Garden Shop How to Garden video. In this video we want to show you how to grow parsnip seeds outdoors. So parsnip is a root crop, so therefore like all root crops it's best sown directly into the soil. So if you see in front of us here we have our vegetable plot already prepared. The soil has been dug over 2 weeks previously and it has been dug to a depth of about 1.5 feet. We didn't add any farmyard manure because crops like carrots and parsnips prefer no fresh manure in the soil, as it can cause the roots to split. Alternatively, you can use a product like Growmore, which you just sprinkle over the surface of your soil 2 weeks before sowing your seeds. So we have done that already, and we spread about 1 handful or 35 grams per square meter of Growmore. Okay, so what we're going to do now is show you how to prepare your drill. So we already have 2 rows of vegetables sown here, which are labelled up. We have 2 rows of carrots. So now I want to sow 2 rows of parsnips. So what I want to do now is take my string line and I'm going to move it 20 centimeters to the left of my carrot row. So that's rough enough, 20 centimeters there. You want to keep your string line there so that you sow a nice, neat, straight row. This will make weeding your parsnip seedlings a lot easier, so you can identify them as they grow up in nice straight rows. They're easier to identify. So now preparing the drill, about 1 centimeter deep, so it's a very light drill. Very light. You don't want to sow it too deep. Okay, and then what you want to do is to remove any stones from the soil. So if you just look over the soil there, you'll see the condition of the soil. And I'm just going to get out my parsnip seeds. What you want to have is to remove any stones from your soil. There's quite a large one that should have been removed at the time of preparing the soil. But with a soil that we have here, which is a bit stony, it is difficult to remove all of the stones and rocks from the ground. If you have a very stony soil, it could be recommended or better to grow your seeds in a raised bed, which has a lighter soil in it. Okay, so now just going to open up my packet of seeds here. Something to note with parsnip seeds is that they don't have a very long lifespan. And if you have seeds left over from last year, it's likely that they are not viable and they probably won't survive. So really with parsnip seeds, you need to buy new seeds every year. So I'm just going to pour them out into my hand. So parsnips are similar to carrots, they like similar soil, but they grow larger. So we need to space the seeds further apart and space the rows further apart. With parsnips, we're going to sow 3 to 4 seeds every 15 centimeters. So I'll just do that now in our first row. So just 3 to 4 and keep them together and space them about 15 centimeters apart. Again, I see a small stone here, just going to break it up or remove it. Okay. So every 15 centimeters you want to just put them in. And again, we'll come back later and thin these out. So the string line keeps it in a nice even row, and that will make weeding with the hoe a lot easier. They can be slow enough to germinate as well, so what you might find is that your weeds come up before your seedlings do. I just dropped a few there, and then there, okay. And if I have a few left over, there's no harm just putting it in the row, just to get them used up. Okay, now the next thing you want to do is to rake over your soil. I'll tell you just to close the drill, and I'm just going to use a garden rake to do that. So I'm just going to pull the soil back over the trench just to lightly cover the seeds. Again, you don't want to bury them too deeply. Just under the soil surface is what you want, and this will speed up germination. They won't be buried underneath the soil, which can cause slower germination. Then using the rake again, just press the soil in lightly. Okay. So your parsnips, once they've germinated, you're looking at about 28 weeks before harvesting, and you harvest then into August time and even into October. They say that parsnips get a better flavour after a frost. Okay, and they also store quite well, so they're a good crop over the winter months. Just going to water the row in nice and quick. Okay, and the next thing you do then, if you want to sow another row, you simply just take your string line and move it about 25 centimeters to the left of your previous row, and then you can sow again. Okay. So just try and get it nice and straight there. So that's where we will sow our second row of parsnips. But for now, we just wanted to show you the process involved in sowing parsnips, a video from thegardenshop.ie.